Alright, so welcome back to 캥거루프렙. Now we're going to be looking at questions 32 to 35. Let us take a look at the passage first. A new report says nearly 4 billion people, more than half the world's population. So we're going to take a look at more than half of the world's population. More than half of the world's population have major tooth decay. As a tooth decay, it's not even minor, but major. And health officials warned that, what do they warn? Poor oral health can lead to social and psychological problems. Can lead to social and psychological problems. So, poor oral health can lead to social and psychological problems. Psychological, mental, right? And let us continue. Tooth decay or cavities. So, here are the synonyms. Tooth decay or cavities in permanent teeth is also known as caries. Okay. Tooth decay, cavities, caries. That can be regarded as synonyms here. Professor Wagner Marcinus led a team of researchers as part of the Global Burden of Disease 2010 study, which listed caries as the most common of all 291 major diseases and injuries. It is the most common of all those diseases and injuries. Wow. All right, so caries is a chronic disease. What does chronic mean? Chronic is long lasting. It is not temporary. It continues to exist for a long time, right? That shares the same risk factors as cancer and cardiovascular. Cardiovascular refers to okay, relating to heart and or blood vessels, right? Okay. So this oral health problem called caries shares the same risk factors as cancer and cardiovascular disease. So it's not a minor health problem, but it should be taken seriously. And now what we're seeing now is an increase, a surge in disease from highly developed countries in sub-Saharan Africa, and probably in other areas of Africa too. Caries tends to get less attention than other diseases, which means it receives less attention than other diseases. For example, HIV is a much more pressing issue for health of the population. So HIV receives way more attention from the population than caries does, right? Even though caries shares some risk factors, such as cancer and cardiovascular diseases. Let us continue. Marcinus, so he's the professor, right? Professor Marcinis said that he stated that tooth decay is rising sharply and rapidly in Africa because developing countries are becoming more like Western nations in some ways. They are becoming more industrialized. So caries is likely to be related to a change in diet. It must be related to a change in diet. Okay. And our industrialized diet leads to chronic disease, which includes caries. Okay. So caries is one of the chronic diseases resulted by industrialized diet. Okay. Now, let us take a look at question 32 here. According to the passage we just read, caries is a type of cancer. Caries shares same risk factor as cancer, but it's not a type of cancer. It did not say anything to confirm that it was a type of cancer. Choice B, a disease related to HIV. It said that it receives less attention from the population than HIV does from people, but it is not. It didn't say anything to confirm that it is related to HIV. Choice C, cardiovascular disease. Again, the passage said that caries shares the same risk factors as cardiovascular disease, but caries is not a cardiovascular disease. Caries is an oral problem, tooth decay, and cardiovascular relates to heart dysfunctions and blood vessels problems. Choice D, a disease of the teeth. There you go, choice D. And yeah, that is, take a look at choice E, easily cured with dietary changes. Although it said the industrialized diet leads to chronic disease, which includes caries, it did not say that caries can be easily cured with dietary changes. Therefore, we should choose choice D. Let's take a look at question 33. According to the passage, caries is increasing in Africa due to, so we just read it, we remember, right? Okay. What comes to your mind? Industrialization, right? Becoming developed. The status of becoming developed. Spread of industry, likely. Increasing poverty, definitely not. High rates of HIV and other diseases, no. Higher rates of social and psychological problems. So, caries can lead to oral problem, can lead to social and psychological problems, but it is not due to the high rates of social and psychological problems. Choice E, changes in the way that people eat. Yes. So, when we go back, caries is likely to be related to a change in diet. There you go. Our industrialized diet leads to caries. Therefore, we should choose choice E. Okay. Now, let us go on to question 34. According to the passage, the number of people who suffer from caries is a majority of the population of the planet. Remember, in the first sentence of the passage, it said more than half of the world's population suffers from carries. So this is likely. Let's move on to choice B. Greater in sub-Saharan Africa than anywhere else in the world. Although the passage mentioned that we can witness an increase in disease from countries in sub-Saharan Africa and probably in other areas of Africa too. Okay. So it did not exactly say that it is greater in sub-Saharan Africa than anywhere else. You can cross that out. Okay. Choice C. It's concentrated in the West. No, it did not say that. Around 4 million people. Okay. When you go back to the first sentence, first line of the passage, 4 billion, not million, right? Therefore, we can cross that out as well. Choice A, smaller than the number of people. All right. So, uh, it did say that more than half of the world's population suffers from tooth decay. And it did not say that people who suffer from caries is smaller than the number of people. Therefore, we know for sure that choice A is the best choice. Let us move on to question 35. This passage would most likely be found in what kind of writing? Novel, definitely not. A personal letter? No. A biography? No. An encyclopedia? No. So, A, newspaper, right? So, question 35 was an easy one. Alrighty, so, okay, well done, guys. And, oh, shall we? Okay. Oh, we're going to deal with this passage in next video. See you soon.